I'm humbled to be in the midst of extraordinary professionals come from all walks of life here. I'm aware that we are here not so much to look at the chemicals and substances, but at the human being. And so I'd like to give you a special kind of invocation and a blessing that I got. I got this inspiration from none other than Mother Teresa. And she always began her day this way, praying, "Make me worthy, Lord, to serve our fellow human beings who live and die in poverty and hunger, in addiction and addiction-related ailments such as HIV/AIDS. Give them, through my hands, the daily bread they need, the daily care they need. And by your love and mercy, grant me peace." Friends, addiction is everybody's problem. Vernon Johnson of the Baltimore School ironically said, "It's a dubious luxury to think that you are not an addict." Think of it. The difference is, as William Glasser in his studies on reality therapy showed, that this addictive energy within us has two outlets. One is to go towards self-gratification, paradoxically leading to necrophilia, love of death. Many of my addicts and alcoholics have gone into suicide and attempted suicide. We have the choice to reverse it, and that again is a paradox, that we have to go not through self-gratification, but self-denial. And this self-denial, again paradoxically, leads to the love of life, which is biophilia. Many from 1931 dabbled with this, helping the chemically dependent person. Earliest was Dr. Silkworth, who tried his medical model on the famous man called Bill Wilson, who went through a horrible experience when the markets crashed, as they crashed in 2008. They crashed also in 1929. People said that it would not lead to depression, but 1930, America went into the horrible depression, and it survived on a potato diet. Imagine, what could an alcoholic stockbroker do? He went into hospitals 4 times. And then Dr. Silkworth, he was nicknamed the little doctor who loved the drugs. I think that's a good nickname for Dr. Marcheswala also. You know, the doctor who loves the drugs and the addicts. He called Louise, his wife, and said, "Please lock him up. Because if he goes and has his next drink, he will either go mad or he will die an untimely death." That's the 2 other outlets. If all of us do not pitch in and help the human being to find recovery. It's a long process. It did have people like Carl Jung, who gave tremendous contribution to understanding this chemically dependent person, an addictive personality, gave us the insight into the factor that we call overstaying of an infantile psyche, and therefore how to address that, various behavioral methodologies there. And today there is a whole lot of new sciences. Viktor Frankl said, when America built the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast, every form of sin against freedom has been committed in America. Then they woke up to the realization that they have to do something about this and counter that by a statue of responsibility. Viktor Frankl thinks that they did so, but they did not do it in marble and mortar. They did it in schools of psychology that rose up from Esalen right down to California. I think the contribution of that tremendous science was amazing, starting with Carl Jung. But ultimately, Carl Jung gave the formula. He said the first time when Roland T was sent to him, he was puzzled. And he really said to them, there's nothing in psychology that can make us understand this why an addict, why an alcoholic keeps repeating, keeps going back, relapsing. And when he was telling that to Roland, Roland said, I felt as if the heavens had crashed on me. But later on, Jung had a transformation. And he wrote a beautiful letter to the founding father, inquiring what happened to that Roland. And then he said, I have come to realize that there is something very satanic about this chemical called alcohol. Look what they have named it, spirit. Ironically, spirit. And he said, man thinks, human beings think that their spirit is enough to overcome this. No. And then he gave us a formula. There's only God's grace that can overcome this. Now, what a providential thing. 1956 he wrote this letter to Bill W. And he used the word God's grace. The Sanskrit word for that is Kripa. And so in 1981 when I started my facility, I did not know about this, but I just took the word Kripa because ultimately it's God's grace.